Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Welcome back to the second season, I guess you could say, of what I've seen lately. Last time we did this, you guys seemed to fairly enjoy it. Well, we're back again, and we're starting off the week with "In the Mood for Love," which was just to confirm real quick, yeah, it was written, produced, and directed by Juan Kar Wai. I believe that's how you say his name. Um, Very notable director. He's done pieces such as Fallen Angels, as well as Happy Together, as well as Days of Being Wild, and another film in particular, which we will be actually reviewing on this series or this week. So stay tuned for that review as well. Um, Tells the story of two neighbors. One of them, a man played by Tony Len, and a woman played by Maggie Chun. Um, they start to start to form a bond with each other, as with being neighbors. They are very close to each other, as well as the uh, the dilemmas happening within their own relationships. One of them has a husband who is always away, and one of them has a wife who is presumably cheating. So they both eventually start to talk more to each other, and slowly but surely they start to develop feelings for each other and start to fall into some sort of affair together. Um, so, I mean, as a narrative, it's pretty familiar territory. I mean, extremely familiar territory. Um, and ultimately, what the film is about, it being a romance, I mean, it makes an emphasis on the forces that really propel individuals to pursue other people. What creates that drive within an individual, and the gray area that is formed, the presence of regret that is built over time, because the film makes an effort to, within its editing, within such there's like many cuts, like many fades to black, and those fades of black are meant to illustrate a passing of time and almost like a fragment of sorts, where, because there's points in the film where they talk about, oh, well, who came on to who and how did we get here and all this sort of stuff, and the editing is meant to make that kind of, is meant to, uh, is meant to give a visual representation of that very point of where things start to blur and things start to, where it's like it's only now pieces and not much of a this, and that, sort of thing. Um, and the the emphasis that the film has is more on its visual varieties than anything, which I have to say are quite nostalgic. It echoes that of classic types of storytelling and just of old timey sensibilities, stuff like from the 50s and 60s, and I think that it has a score that I think is that is just so like soothing and quite a standout element, to be frank. Um, but what I had trouble with was the craftsmanship in general, because, as I said, the film makes a big emphasis on visuals, but not much on substance for me, which is where I get filmmaking that I honestly felt was arrogant, because it operates on the assumption that style speaks more levels than substance. There's like many like pans and many like showcasings of its shots. Like, look how pretty this shot is. Look how the smoke coming up, and the plethora of like slow mos, the repetitiveness of like certain music cues, and certain certain uh, certain just depictions of events, and for me, like, it comes off like it comes off more like it's that term artsy fartsy, that feeling of like, okay, you're just kind of showing off a little bit, like, okay, yeah, your shots look great, but what else are you speaking on within those shots? And there isn't much. There is a subtle nature to the film that is interesting. I mean, it's more shallow interest than heavy interest. Um, and like I said, there is a repetitiveness within its subtleties and within its overall purpose. So by the end of it, I was like, there came a point in the film where I just asked myself, am I really interested in these characters? Am I really interested in this circumstance? Because I mean, it's not operating on anything new besides a certain stylistic representation, or a certain stylistic presentation, um, which admittedly is interesting enough. Like I said, it's a nice throwback. It's nostalgic and quite expressive, um, and I like the subtleties that it takes. But those subtleties create more. Um, it ultimately creates more of an artificial feeling than an emotional feeling, because that's what the romance ultimately is hindering on, is more on the mechanics of it versus its emotional um, sensibilities. So I think it's like I said. I think that it's well shot. I think that the performances are fine. They're not anything that that crazy or that interesting. As I said, because I just found my interest in the characters to be fairly absent. Um, and like I said, it's not doing anything new. I mean, it's hard to do to crack a new angle with romances. I mean, it's just pretty straightforward type stuff. Um, but its technicalities, while interesting, create more of an artificial um, demeanor than anything else. It just feels like something that's technically driven than emotionally driven, and that's unfortunate how because of some of the elements at play. Like, I see good performances there. I see the potential for interesting characters to follow, but it just chooses more to bathe in its technicalities than it does in its personality. So, um, because I think I see something of a persona in there, but you have to get past all this showiness in order to find it. And I found myself pretty tuned out with it. um it's very casual. It's pretty mundane. But like I said, it has some technicalities that are interesting, and some portions of its craftsmanship um, are are fascinating. But I just wish that it was more emotionally driven than technically speaking, because that's ultimately what the film is. And for that, I found a great distance within it. So those are my thoughts on In the Mood for Love. I didn't really like it. I thought it was technically sound, but not emotionally. But you guys want to know your thoughts about In the Mood for Love if you guys have seen it in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for day one, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow in the next video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.